Welcome. This is student 1141538 of MPM 704, Exploring Collaborative Practices. A group of students were given a task to create an event. 2 months of planning. Do you think they succeeded?
Falling into place. My days end best when the sunset gets itself behind.
As cliche as this sounds, creating impossible into I am possible, or in this case, we are possible, came very naturally to each one of us. We created a spreadsheet where all our skills could shine, and slowly a hierarchy of groups took place where we had artists and liaison, budgeting, PR and marketing, etc. A great leader is someone who puts themselves in other people's shoes. When we think about great leaders, we think about Nelson Mandela, Mahatma Gandhi, and Mother Teresa, who all led with compassion and love. Sometimes people confuse leadership with management, but there are two distinct similarities between them. According to Cotter in 1990, he argues that the overriding function of a manager is to be consistent and organize the team. This would include budgeting, organizing, strategizing to meet a goal.
Part of the management team. So
Right.
I once a week I'd meet up with everyone else who was covering all the departments and find out what's going on and what I could help out with or where I needed to be.
Whereas a leader's function is to produce change and movement. This means the leader aligns with people, communicates, builds a vision, inspires, motivates, and strategizes along the way.
All the jobs that needed to get done and who was doing them, how long they needed to take. I created a rough guide as to how long each job needed to take, roughly, like in terms of weeks, in terms of days as well. Making sure that everything is getting done and all the jobs are being fulfilled by everyone that promised to do them. Making sure that no one is left behind, and everyone feels included. And I think that's like the general summary of everything.
Beautiful. How was your experience being a leader in Build a Musician?
I made myself a leader until everyone started considering, like, letting me know that they considered me to be the leader. Until the end of the event, I pretty much just thought I was just doing teamwork rather than leadership duties. But it was fun.
When things started getting underway and when people had like a general idea of the importance of the event, everyone kind of stepped up to it, which was really nice to see.
My primary role was being the team leader of artists and guests. So through that, I had to make sure the guests and acts were booked and decided.
What was your role in Build a Musician?
So I was part of the marketing team and the health and safety team, but mainly I was responsible for the social media stuff. So I did most of the Instagram posts and Facebook posts. So I was responsible for posting the content basically, and yeah.
Well, I was in two departments. I was in the artist liaison department, which was basically in charge of just kind of communicating with the panellists and the bands, and mainly kind of getting key bits of information from them, like, how many people do they think they can bring, what is their setup, what equipment do they need, do they have any special requirements, and yeah, just contacting artists and panelists, just sending out a lot of emails, which had kind of varying success with, found kind of like, emails are quite easy to ignore, so it was just kind of a case of being a bit pushy. And then I did a small amount in the marketing part as well, where basically just creating online content. So I did all the little musician tips. So just like things like songwriting tips or theory tips or something like that. Just, get content going on the Instagram. But yeah, that's basically it really.
What are some of your strengths?
I really enjoy kind of the marketing side. I got a lot of motivation for that, but it's still kind of new to me. But I think it kind of came quite natural because being kind of like a massive kind of consumer of like social media and being in different bands as well, creating content, I think that kind of came quite naturally.
Organization and time management, maybe. Yeah.
Brilliant.
I think that the ability to be able to go, I know that the event isn't for like a month, 2 months, but we need to get this done now, otherwise it's not going to get done in time. And being able to maybe like see that far ahead in terms of this needs to be done by this point.
People feel at ease as part of my job how I work in school with special needs kids that I work with doing music therapy. That again, like when I do that, it's all about creating that calm environment, and I kind of just applied that to what I was doing with the panel, and but yeah, just making a warm and welcoming environment for people. I'd like to think,
I'll start with weaknesses. I am not confident at all, so it was a very big struggle to communicate with everyone in this event. I tend to overstep usually, and that comes off as pretty bossy, so I really wanted to take a step back and try not to do that for this event. Strengths, I guess, at the end of the day, like most people told me that I did communicate well enough, so I'm pretty happy with that. And I think when it comes to academic and anything that it doesn't relate to my personal life, I'm pretty organized. So I think I was one of the people to keep everything as organized as possible and direct and delegate to the others in the team as to where they can find everything and any documents that needed to be done, any editing, so on and so forth. I think I was literally a jack of all trades. So I guess that's one of my strengths, just butting in wherever, even if I don't have the experience in it.
Did you face any challenges with the weeks leading up to Build a Musician?
Making sure that everyone is on the same page and that the communication between everyone is relatively the same. But I think we did a pretty good job with that. Like it was challenging in maybe the first 4 weeks until everybody decided what is going to get done.
Well, I guess just collaboration in general, because I'm so insular and so like everything I've worked with before, like especially concerning music, has all been me. I mean, I'm a self-produced musician, write my own tunes and basically do the whole mixing process myself concerning that. So yeah, so it was crazy in the sense of working with other people on this event, and so I guess like yeah, that was quite a big shock to the system. But again, as we had a good team, so I kind of got into it a lot more. I think that definitely helped.
There was a lot of kind of, I work a couple of different jobs, and then there's like a lot of like frustration because I couldn't actually make it there during the day, and so it's just kind of, scheduling, rescheduling, just trying to make everything work. And yeah, so I found that everyone was like super catering to that, and no one kind of held that against me at all, and quite supportive in general. But yeah, so I think just kind of getting the time and yeah.
The key to good communication is to trust others and know that they will have your back. We were 20 of us, all putting our acts together, and each one of us, like a ripple effect, started helping each other. If one person couldn't do it on that day, another person would step in and take the role. So together we were like the strong knit group, and this made us build connections with each other as well as build connections with the panelists and the stakeholders of the event. We created an ecosystem that brought out the best in each one of us and decreased the workload. Stephen Covey in 2012 stated that when a trust in the relationship, be it individually, in a community, in a country, or in a group, increases, speed increases, efficiency increases, and cost goes down. People can communicate faster, collaborate better, be more innovative, do business faster and more efficient. And this is called high trusted dividedness.
And then by the end, I wasn't doing a whole lot because I'd done most of the planning at the start, and then people were kind of picking up the roles that had been left from the planning, I would say. So yeah, I think in general it was really good. At the start it was pretty stressful, but it got way better towards the end, definitely.
Dreams give us a flame in our hearts that ignites passion. Meyer and all his colleagues in 2014 concluded that commitment can serve as a particularly a powerful tool for motivation and can persist in the course of action when faced with difficulties. The why in our lives were already designed by our students to create an event, knowing that we were able to invent whatever we wanted, brainstorming ideas for the event and creating a happy atmosphere at work. Motivate you?
Yes, absolutely. I don't think I work so well if someone's like pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. I feel like I kind of gravitate to the task a little bit more naturally if I'm just kind of left with my own devices. And so it's just a nice amount of support from the leadership team as well. They were like, don't worry about it, I've got your back. Like, you know, have some a little bit of guidance, and it was just really encouraging in that way. So yeah.
Each one of us was motivated by the other one, encouraging us for our efforts, building healthy attitudes, friendships during the coming weeks, building to the event. According to Zaffron and Logan in 2009, a situation or a person's attitude to the situation goes hand in hand, thus bringing change or allowing action or future promises to take place.
It definitely did, yeah, because I think before we kind of did the masters, we were kind of like all on our own, and it brought us together, and I feel like I made great new connections, and yeah, definitely made me more motivated to work in a team again.
This experience of Build a Musician made me realize that I can trust people. It has made me realize that I can motivate my teammates, and I never used to see motivation or kind words as a tool to manifest or as a tool for success as I see it right now. Through this experience, I got to meet some beautiful people. I got to speak to panelists, collaborators in the event, charity organizations, and I also got to enjoy a very stimulating process of emailing many people from the artist and liaison team. I was a part of the overview team, and I was a part of the overview team. I was a part of being a rider for the guests. Challenges that we faced was when one of our panelists dropped out. When that took place, everybody was very frantic and we were panicking and running around like headless chicken. Took place. It made me look towards my mother and a skill that she has. And when I saw it very strongly and I wanted to help. When one of our panelists dropped out, the skill that I got from my mother, which helped me improve in this event, was to keep trying no matter what. Don't give up. Keep seeing it through. Even if you think that, time is less, even if you have a day, even if you have 3 days, try to see it through. Just try, keep emailing many people as possible and get connections. When one of our panelists, coming back to when one of our panelists actually dropped out, I kept messaging everybody I knew from BIMM, from ex-BIMM students, from different organizations, from Instagram, from LinkedIn, just asking them and inviting them if they would be a part of this group. Luckily enough, I actually made a connection with one of the panelists, and he was able to come on the same, which made everything so much more beautiful, grandiose, and very informative. Things I would like to tell future BIM students personally is get your venue sorted. But even when you get your venue sorted, please see that they have chairs, because chairs cost a lot. When you're in the venue, check that you have at least 2 sound engineers, one a backup and one for the event, because you do not know when your sound engineer is gonna like drop or what's gonna happen. Check your mics. Please check your mics, be it in a conference or at a gig. Just check that your mics are working. In one of the panels that took place, we had 4 panels. We had songwriting, we had PR and marketing, we had content creation, and we had booking shows and live events. Yeah. And in one of the panels, mics did not work, so the guest speaker had to scream out or shout out or voice out her opinions because the mic didn't catch her or like didn't happen. Risk management. People who are working in, I was fortunate enough to be in, could say, a few groups where people needed me, and I was fortunate enough for that to take place, because I did not know the things that go in an event or the things that happen during an event of this capacity. Also, when you're in the venue, check their risk assessment test, see if everything checks out, so that everything checks out and there is no fire, because that is something very important. And only when we actually had a meeting with the estates team did we realize these many factors that take into account when planning an event. Another thing to make sure that all your equipments and your instruments are pat tested, so it'll be easier. And make sure that your amps, your music gear, everything is working and in perfect condition a week or a day or 3 days before the event takes place, so that when you actually go on stage there is no confusion and time works smoothly on your hands. Yeah. A last thing I would like to say to each one of you is that trust your teammate. Trust is really hard to do. Trust me. I found it hard to trust my own teammates because, if I do not do this, they won't like me, or if I don't do this, they're gonna hate me. But please, as much as you can, trust your teammate. Trust that the other person behind you has your back. Okay? Or with trust in place, be in your event or in your group, you can do so many things. Also have a can-do attitude. In the group, we had that can-do attitude. Our team leader, our like leader, which was Cheyenne, she had that can-do attitude. Wherever, even if she didn't know how to do it, she would learn and do it. She persisted. Please have that attitude. Think that you can do it and do it, even if you do not know it. This helped me so much when I offered my help to get us the t-shirts for Build a Musician. And we did not do this a week in advance. We did this 3 days to the event. And again, I was frantic and I told people I'm so sorry because this was given to me, or I took this opportunity and I was going to let them down. But then I kept thinking back to the times where I would give up, but my mom, for some reason, she was the only thought in my mind. You can do it, keep trying, keep trying. And because I kept trying, in 3 days, mind you, in 3 days, do not do this, we were able to get 20 t-shirts, 20 shirts for us in 3 days. I am so thankful for the connections I've made with the community, the printing and art community, the connections I made with the panelists, the charity organizations, and each one of them who made Build a Musician a success. I am so grateful to them.
Just not to be scared of it, I suppose, just to like jump head first into it like we did.
Organize yourself into groups and like really start planning it ideally in the first semester, so get together so that you have your idea down before the second semester starts. I mean, I think overall we were quite good in time, but I think had we started like 2 weeks sooner, we could have had an even better event. Yeah.
Get the venue early, figure out what it is that you want to do within the first couple of weeks, and then get the venue to cater, see if you can cater for your event. That's just a big must. But yeah, and I think, just finding if you are going to kind of do something, like we did, like involving panelists and like, involving a lot of people to kind of, again, just like start hitting those people up really, really, really early on, because I think that's probably what caused the most amount of stress, kind of getting quite late in the day thinking, oh gosh, we still need another panelist for blah, 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 and then luckily kind of, got it fixed quite quickly after everyone's just started, communicating that. But so I think just get it done early.
I think getting to know each other quite well before the event, before the term even starts, or like getting an idea of what you want to do is a really good idea, like what we did, where we were kind of thinking about what we wanted to do so before the thing happened, because then at least you can go into the first lesson and go, right, well, I kind of know what this is going to go like, I know how this is going to, I know how it plays out in my head, and now we need to just write down the details of it, rather than not having a clue how to do an event that doesn't even exist in your head, like no one has an idea, because then there's potential for loads of people disagreeing about what the event could be, which would be really difficult. So I think just getting to know everyone as well as possible is helpful, and I think having a think before you even get to the module about what you want to do is going to be helpful as well.
Hi Billy, how are you?
Hey, I'm great. How's it going?
Amazing. Gonna ask you a bunch of questions. Where did you hear about Build a Musician?
I heard about Build a Musician through social media, actually. So I seen it on my friend's Instagram page, and it was promoted on there. So I thought I'd check it out.
What did you think the event was going to be about?
Do you know what? I was pleasantly surprised, because I thought the event was going to be less tailored towards like kind of DIY musicians. I've been to a previous event that has a similar concept, and it didn't impress me, so I was pleasantly surprised by this.
Lovely. Which was your favorite panel?
I think the songwriting panel was my favorite, because it's something that I don't have a lot of experience in and a lot of expertise. So I was really intrigued to get some information about songwriting. I think it was good to help me kind of give me ideas about my own songwriting and what to do with it, where to take it. So that was a really good one.
What did you learn from this experience?
Wow, an open-ended question. I think I learned quite a lot from this experience. There was so much going on, like so much information being shared with everyone, which was really great. But I think it just gave me a better overall view of the pathway of a DIY musician and how you can kind of implement all of the things such as booking shows, tour managing, releasing music, social media marketing. So it gave me a good overview of all of that, and a more kind of clear idea of a roadmap.
Lovely. Okay. Did you enjoy the gig after?
I loved it. Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
Brilliant. What would you like to say to Build a Musician team?
Please put on another event soon because it was so good, and I really think that more people need to be involved, and I think perhaps the one thing that I might have said to do differently was just to make sure that you put out a lot of promo, really focus on the promotion for if there is a next event.
Okay.
And yeah, thank you for putting on the gig, and I'd love to be at the next one.
Describe Build a Musician in one word.
Amazing.
Informative.
Building musician. Fun.
Wicked.
Hectic.
It was insightful. I would it was every aspect into the music industry, all the big ones, and then everything everything we spoke about in the from what I heard, everything we spoke about, in the songwriting stuff, it got to be showcased at the end, and we got to see each other's bands and that. So it was just like a proper insight into kind of the lives of all these different musicians and industry professionals, and then at the end of it, you just got an insight into how it could be used practically. So yeah, insightful.
Thank you for watching my MA video essay. This was an extremely good experience for me. I've always wanted to make a video, and now I have. So thank you.